What's up, everybody? Brett here, Good Talk Gaming, and I'm going to be playing some more Slay the Spire today. Today I wanted to showcase the Silent. Yesterday we had a very successful Ironclad run. Went with kind of a strength build, which is kind of the easiest build to put together, so nothing too exciting there. But we did get to see a lot of the changes, the additional relics and cards, and even a few different enemies that they've made to the game since the last time I played, so that was exciting. I'm very interested to see what they've done to the Silent and see if I need to adjust my playstyle or rethink some of the strategies I remember. So we're just going to do a normal run, non-ascension. So I haven't played in a while, and I kind of want to do a stress-free, quote-unquote, easy run. And for those of you who aren't super familiar with this game, this is our starting relic, basically like a unique, almost like an item, a unique constant effect. We're going to draw 2 additional cards, less HP than the Ironclad, a lot less survivable, but you really want to combo off with the Silent, so that's what we're going to look to do. There's lots of different types of builds you can go. There's poison, there's daggers, basically using lots of really low cost or even zero cost cards to do damage and trying to stack effects that way. So let's see what he's offering. These are actually pretty good choices. I usually don't go for lose your starting relic because they're always so pivotal to the way you have to build the hero. This is tempting. 250 gold is basically a free relic, but there's a good chance we'll just get a decent relic anyway. Let's see what we got. Okay, so not super great. It's really not going to have any combat effectiveness for us, but there could definitely be a time where we need to rest, and that 15 HP could come in handy. And there was no downside. We didn't take any damage to get some gold to hopefully get a good relic at the first shop. So all upside. Let's go ahead and look down our path. As I mentioned in the last video, you want to take the path that'll lead you into conflict with the most elites. Elites drop rarer cards, they drop more gold, they drop relics, and relics are kind of key. So right off the bat I'm noticing there's a path that leads me through 3 elites, and it's just a matter of whether or not I want to take as many starting fights as possible. So we're going to stick to this rightermost path. If we had taken that 250 gold for 21 damage, we would be looking to go this path to get this early shot. Maybe pick up 1-2 relics, or a relic and a good card, something like that. So let's see, without too much further ado, these paths are basically identical. We'll just start here. Some easy slimes. You'll already notice 2 additional cards. A lot more variety. Just going to take out the little slime. He's the one doing the damage. Neutralize is free, so we might as well. And even more so than our last run, we really want to pay attention to the order in which we play our cards. Because it can really affect your combos down the line if you misplay. The Silent is definitely a more challenging character. Let's just take him out. Good energy potion. Okay, so right off the bat I'm seeing some interesting choices. I do love powers. They're static effects. You play this card once and this effect stays on the battlefield for the rest of the fight. It's a Thorns effect. Crippling Cloud I like a lot. It's an offensive and a defensive spell in a way. This poison every turn ticks down 4 damage, 3 damage, 2 damage, 1 damage, and it affects all enemies. It does exhaust, which isn't great, but you generally won't play multiples of these in a single battle. And applying 2 weak makes it so that if if your enemy is hitting you, I mean they're doing less damage. And distraction is not bad. This is a card I would look to pick up later once I kind of already have a feel for my deck. I'm going to grab Crippling Cloud. I like it for kind of a crowd control role. Let me look at my deck. I might not actually have a card that I want to remove badly enough. I mean, at this point, there is a philosophy to thinning your deck out to make your draws more consistent, and getting rid of a single block or a single strike definitely does that to kind of a small degree. For 7 HP, I'll remove, let's see, I'll remove a standard strike. I think that's fine. We basically traded 7 HP for a slightly better chance to draw better. And it doesn't really affect us yet, but it could in the future. Let's just play a defend. Hit this guy. And they have this ability here, curl up. When taking attack damage, rolls up and gains 7 block. They only do it once. It's good to proc it. Just get it out of the way, so you can kind of kill them at will. He actually strengthed up, so we'll probably take him out if we get the chance this turn. And I don't think we'll be able to, because he's the one that actually still has his curl up left. So let's think about this. We could go do something like that, get some defense, and then take him out. The Silent also has heavy discard synergies. Discarding a card in a lot of card games is a negative, but this is definitely a character that makes it a positive. You'll notice that poison damage skips around block. It's kind of force feeding us a poison synergy. And here you'll notice this is a card that has great discarded synergy. It's another card I would probably want to pick up later. We don't have enough cards that read discard for us to consistently get it down to even a castable 3 energy. So we're either looking at Catalyst or Bane. And at this point, because we don't have a ton of poison, and this card does exhaust, I'm going to look at Bane. It's basically an upgraded strike at this point. Let's go ahead and take this path. Once again, we're heading towards that elite. And we're going to apply a lot of weakness to this gentleman. We're going to take 3 damage. We could have done that turn in a way to not take any damage. Basically, neutralize, defend, defend, defend. But I really value getting that poison on him. These guys consistently do high numbers, and having the poison to do the damage over time while also the weakness debuff is very strong against enemies that just want to attack you. We'll just play that for the heck of it. So he raised his strength, 6 block. Happy to continuously weaken him. This is going to do 14, which is pretty sweet. And we've got him. Not bad. And this is a great potion to get on the Silent. The Ironclad heals after each fight, but the Silent does not. So you really have to watch your HP. This is going to give us 4 block every turn once we use it, and every time you get hit, it diminishes by 1. So let's say we use this, got 4 block for that turn, got hit in excess of 4 damage. The next turn it would come back as 3 block, and so on until it was completely gone. I like outmaneuver. Let's see here. I right-clicked on the card because I want to see what the upgrade is. If I remember right, it is next turn gain 3 energy for 1 energy. This card you can't really go wrong. This, another great discard synergy card, and this is kind of just, let's check this out. So 6 and 6. This is kind of, in my mind, almost a trap card. It's a very safe pick, but it's not going to feed into any synergy. It's just a very kind of middle of the road card. So I'm going to take outmaneuver in the hopes that I can get that upgraded and perhaps use that to fuel a combo down the line. So here, unfortunately, we did not draw our AoE poison, which would have been great against these guys. So let's see, who's doing the most damage? We've got these two. Let's go ahead and take one of these guys out. And pop a defend. Let's actually pop plated armor as well, because we do have an elite fight coming up, and we want to be at good health for that. Yeah, still not drawing. Our AoE is pretty rough. Let's weaken him. That's 2 less damage. I think here we definitely want to get as much block as possible. So we're already at 11, so we can afford to hit this guy right there. We actually had an extra energy there, but we didn't need it. Kind of the benefits of doing the math. There are certain relics that play into playing more cards per turn, and there are some that play into playing fewer cards per turn. So sometimes it really matters whether or not you play out that last card or use that last energy. It's not always irrelevant. Okay. This guy is dead. His entire health bar is green. That lets me know that the poison is going to tick off and finish him for me. If we had had this first turn, it would have been a much easier life. This guy is gone. And let's see. Just go ahead and take him out. At this point, doesn't really matter what we play. We've got 3 down. Let's just get out of that. Take our gold. Poison Stab is great. Dagger Throw is really good in the discard. It allows you to kind of filter, draw, discard. You're not really losing, you're not really at a card disadvantage at any point, and you're feeding into your discard synergy. This is a new card, I believe, for me. I don't remember ever reading this. I mean, it's a free 12 damage. But I could see this quickly becoming an uncastable card if you find yourself in a position where you're taking a lot of damage. I'm definitely going to take Poison Stab. It's basically, like I said, an upgraded strike. It does strike type damage and applies the poison. Fighting the Lagavulin. We're going to wake him up on his first turn. Get past some of his armor and get this poison damage to start ticking. There we go. Outmaneuver might have been a good play there. We could have just outmaneuvered for this turn. and then he would have continued sleeping until the next turn, and then we could have started with an essential, 2 extra energy. But it's hard to know if we would have had strong offensive draws, and there's a good chance we would have gotten a high number of defends, and with no poison on him, Bane would have just been another strike. So I like doing that damage right there. If we wanted, we could energy right now, cast Outmaneuver, but it's kind of like using energy to get energy. It's not super effective, and he's not going to attack us this turn, so let's pass. Okay, big hit. Supply weakness. More weakness. Once you play this game enough, you learn the enemy's kind of like attack patterns. And this is definitely an enemy you want to learn their attack patterns, because he can do a lot of damage to you if you are not careful. We are actually going to pop the energy. A little bit of damage to him, mostly to get this extra 5 block. And sometimes that extra bit of damage means that he doesn't get to have that extra turn at the end of this fight. So sometimes being very offensive can be very defensive. And we do want to preserve our life total if we're going to hope to take down 3 elites without resting possibly in between. Let's hit him for 14. Play Survivor, discard a strike. Defend. Take no damage. He's constantly taking the poison ticks. And I'm not sure exactly what negative effect he uses, I don't quite remember. But we're going to keep him weak. It's a bit of a choice. I'm gonna go ahead and use our outmaneuver. It's gonna be nice to get that upgraded. Once it's upgraded, it's basically an auto cast. But at this point, 6 damage could be relevant. Whereas we might draw a pretty bad hand next turn and it's just not relevant. So he lessened our dexterity and our strength. So our blocks don't do as much and our damage doesn't do as much. So we really want to burst this guy down before he just starts making you too weak to protect yourself and too weak to hurt him. So good for us, we played that outmaneuver last turn. We were able to block almost all of his damage and to deal quite a bit in return. And we got him. Awesome. In turn, let the poison take him off. Yeah, not taking that 18 damage there was pretty huge. Fear potion, excellent. Every time you play 10 attacks, gain 1 energy. Awesome. This is a new relic. Haven't seen this before. It kind of reminds me of Pen Nib, a very clutch relic we had in the last playthrough. And it reminds me of that because it's basically every 10 attacks. Pen Nib is the same way, but instead of doubling your attack's damage on the 10th attack, this one's going to give us 1 energy. So if we end up going with a heavy, low-cost attack, Dagger synergy, if we're able to pick up the cards for that and mix that in with our poison synergy, you can easily hit this 2 to 3 times in an elite fight, or even just a drawn-out regular fight. Okay. Sucker Punch is decent. Let's check out the upgrades. We do have a bit of a weakness synergy going right now. Terror is great. Once it's upgraded, it's free. Basically, you cast this once on a boss or an elite, and you don't have to worry about it again. They're just vulnerable for the rest of the fight, and your attacks are doing that much more damage. If you're really relying on attack damage to do that damage, then this is a great card. And if you have a really heavy block focused silent build, then you can sit behind your block, let your enemies attack you, and this is very solid. So here, I think it's between these two. I believe Terror is a more unique effect, and it's basically something you almost always want like a one of. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, and hopefully we'll upgrade that at some point. Okay. This is a guy you almost never want to kill him first. Spore Cloud is his ability. He dies, he's going to give us 2 vulnerable. fungi beast. So we'll probably go for this slime first. Let's weaken him. Poison, Bane, defend. Take no damage, and we did very good damage to the slime. So probably one-shot kill next turn. Well, certainly. We just need a strike. Let's go ahead and take that. We're going to make sure we don't take any damage. And like I said, this isn't free, this isn't upgraded yet, so against one enemy, I don't foresee them being able to get through our blocks. So I'd rather do the damage. I'm not worried about getting overly defensive against one guy. Just play out maneuver. Next turn, guarantee our kill. There we go. Strength potion, not bad. We are right-clicking a lot. Okay. Here's a good choice. Cloak and Dagger is a great card. It's basically just to defend with a free 4 damage attack on it. The shivs are attacks that are free. They're low damage, but they are free, and it plays a lot into the combo synergies, and it's also would be very good with this relic. This, however, is a great AoE attack. It does discard 1 card at random, so a lot of times you want to play this last after you've already played out whatever your sequencing is for the turn. I'm actually going to take Cloak and Dagger, because if I remember right, upgraded gives you 2 shivs, and that's great. Let's take that. We do have a lot of cards we want to upgrade, which is going to be difficult because at certain points we're going to have to rest. So here our choices are Outmaneuver, Terror, or Crippling Cloud. Yeah. All 3 of them are very tempting. Since we don't have... I'm leaning towards Terror right now because we almost don't have the card draw yet to make full use of an extra 3 energy. And with that thinking, having a free Terror means this is never a dead card. And I would really like to have this going into the next elite fight. So we're going to take that. Hope this minus 18 HP doesn't come back to bite us. Let's open this chest, hope for a good relic. Potion belt. I mean, we weren't even using our last potion slot, so that's a bit of a whiff. Here we have the option of basically upgrading another card or healing, or going to a shop. And I think I'm going to take a shop. We have 250 gold. That's usually enough to get a good relic or some good cards. This was pretty sweet in our last run. Unfortunately, I don't have enough to get it. This is a new item for me. A new relic, rather. I haven't seen this. I don't see that as particularly valuable. This is okay. I prefer not to buy this. And here we go. This is a great card if you're building into the Shiv's energies. And I think we're going to pick it up. If it wasn't on sale, I don't believe I would grab this. But on sale, I think I do. And I believe we saw a different version of this same colorless card yesterday on the Ironclad run. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was add 3 random attacks, maybe, to your draw pile. And this seems like a very strong card. You're basically investing in... You're paying 2 now basically to get nothing, hoping that those 3 random cards that cost 0 will come up big for you, and they, in my experience in this game, they usually do. Unfortunately, the 187 for me is a bit high. I'm also looking at this after image, because if we're going to go a heavy, if we're going to lean into like this low cost, 0 cost like Shiv synergy, there will definitely be turns where we play, you know, 5 or 6 cards a turn easily. And this is basically, let's see what it's a 2 block, or it's innate. Okay, it's innate means it starts off in your hand. So getting this down, card 1, turn 1, and then doing your combos every turn after that, it can really turn into something like 5 block per turn. And it's a great card to have in the Shiv's Energy. So I'm actually gonna grab this and look to upgrade it. So right now we're kind of a 50-50 poison Shiv deck, and I'm okay with that. I really don't want to take 13 from this guy. This may be a turn to consider skipping after Image, getting the weakness on him, and the poison, putting up a little bit of block, and just kind of accepting the fact that we're going to take a little bit of damage, but this weakness should translate into less damage overall for the rest of the fight. Okay. And we got that extra energy. Fortunately, we got it on a turn we didn't need it. But I don't think it was worth holding off on our second strike just to roll over 1 energy for the next turn. Okay, so we were entangled. Cannot play attacks for 1 turn. But we can still defend ourselves. Make sure we don't take any damage. There's no point to playing that other card. We are now vulnerable. He's doing very decent damage. Before we hit him, let's make him vulnerable. This is a free attack. Let's take it. Stack poison, discard, strike. So another 5 damage here. Not great, not great. Our potions, if we had popped strength at the start of this fight, we might have been able to get away without having taken that last damage, but that's one of those like hindsight 2020 things. And he's gonna die to poison. Let's see what we get. I do like acrobatics. Check out the upgrade, draw 4 cards. This gives us the card draw that you would need to really make full use of other cards like outmaneuver. Not interested in eviscerate still. And I'm generally not interested in cards like this. To me, this reads as kind of a do-nothing effect. If you get this card really late in your run, and you have a particular card in mind, then this can really help you, but I think right now, even for the next maybe floor and a half, this is just going to be a dead card for us, so we're not considering that. We're really only considering acrobatics. And honestly, I actually think I'm going to skip these 3. I'm actually going to pass acrobatics for the sake of keeping our deck closer to our 2-part synergy. So these guys all have the artifact effect. So unfortunately our terror, we're going to have to get through this before our terror can be useful, and we don't want to just play it out to get rid of it because it is a valuable card. Let's get these shivs going. Let's actually not take any damage this turn. And they're going to add those dazed cards to our discard pile. Considering adding strength now, kind of running the numbers, and I really don't want to take unnecessary damage. Hopefully that extra strength adds towards more damage, goes towards taking fewer hits by the end of this fight. So I think it's worth it here. I'm getting the feeling that because we're not drawing our AoEs early, like we kind of need to, that we may end up taking a lot of damage from this fight. So they negated the poison effect, but they still took the weakness, which is great. So only going to take 1 damage here. And of the effects I wanted these two to take, the weakness was definitely priority for me. Okay, let's get our Shiv. 8 damage here, kills him. The poison will take care of him. And now we can start working on a different guy. And we're gonna get another energy from the nunchucks, which is awesome. Our block is already sufficient, thanks to the weakness. And we put big damage on the guy in the center. Let's see, so not really any options here. Always play after image first. Get some block. Their weakness is worn off. And this is where the days start to become a problem, because we're going to draw a ton of them. Okay. Strike ends him. Get a little weakness going. And you see we're getting block from our after image. It'd be sweet if we could play these, but they're not actually even playable. If they were, though, it would proc. Okay. Just need to burn through these days. There's really nothing for it. Luckily, we're not taking any damage. Terror first. Outmaneuver. Just burning the days. These turns are kind of playing themselves at this point. Next turn we'll proc nunchucks. End our turn. Just end the fight. And this is great. This is playing into kind of the incidental weakness energies that we have. Backstab is a card I definitely want. Having an innate 11 damage in your opening hand for free, it's going to play into a lot of our synergies. Yeah, I'm not even honestly considering anything else. That's the perfect card. We are kind of danger low on HP, so... Oh, this is great. Oh, perfect. So as I'm saying that, we basically get a free 10 hit point heal instead of potentially some horrible, you know, extra fight. Okay, this guy. This is a great guy to have turn 1 after image terror. That was basically our ideal hand. Yeah, that was amazing. Not letting this guy hit us for much. Could be very key to us being successful in the upcoming boss fight. So here we have a choice. And I think we're going to do Blade Dance. It's going to make him deal 2 more damage, but we did play 1 extra card, so that gave us 1 block, so that's already negating that. That's going to give us another block, so that damage increase he received from Enrage has already been canceled out. So we're actually going to net 1 block by doing this, and we brought him into killable range next turn. So that was definitely the correct play. Yeah, our opening hand could not have been better. Boom, there you go. And this is a pretty good relic. This will allow us to use more of our opening hand synergy with After Image basically being a free card now. I'm going to take Dagger Spray. This is a card you want to have in your discard synergy decks. It allows you basically to have a free discard that grants you a benefit, in this case 1 energy, and we're just not set up for a Phantasmal Killer. We don't have any big damage attacks. I could see this being good, but not until... This is basically another one of those cards I would have liked to have seen later down the line. I'm going to take Dagger Spray. It's pretty much always solid. It's always better than a strike, and in fights where there are multiple enemies, it does a ton of damage. So we're going to rest. The pillow actually coming in handy, getting us closer to our HP cap. So let's take on our first boss. The Guardian, same guy from yesterday's video, his first boss. Would have been pretty sweet to get After Image in our opening hand. We do want to make that innate, if at all possible. And there we go, we're going to get some more energy. And we've already popped his Chrysalis. We might have missed out on a few points of damage. I'm not sure. I don't believe there's any point to playing this out, but we had the energy, just play it, whatever. But we have a lot of energy in our starting turns. Pop Terror. Definitely want to defend. His Thorns ability makes it so that we don't really want to attack him, especially not with Dagger Spray. But neutralizing him, giving that weakness, it basically brought him down 4 damage, and we took 3, so we netted 1 HP off of that. So, not nothing. Rough. Let's play After Image. 6 block. And here I don't think it's worth hitting him. I'm gonna pass. Okay. Let's weaken him and see what his damage comes down to. Okay. That's much more manageable. I'm gonna poison him and weaken him. And we're gonna play Survivor. We take 1 damage to ensure, basically, there was definitely a line there to not take any damage, but we're ensuring that he's weak for 2 more turns. And we're definitely going to be popping this pretty soon and making him go back into his little ball. Okay. So now we can get a little defensive. And just remember, everything we play, we get 1 block off of, so it's great. And he has... Let's see. Is there a world where we do more than 20. No, we don't have the energy. But we don't take any damage. He continues to take poison damage. He's no longer weak. I was hoping to draw something that would make him weak again. So let's block here and set up next turn as an outmaneuver turn. This is another kind of a rough turn. Blade Dance is great. Once this is upgraded, after we play an after image, it's basically 4 cards in one. So our turn 1s will be something like after image, use our innate 11 damage ability backstab, and then any kind of shivs are basically just 1 free block. So 4 damage, 1 free block. If you think about it that way. They really start to work together to protect you while you're being very offensive. And of course I get my weaknesses when he's not actually attacking. If we're careful how we do this, we can maximize our damage before he rolls over. So we got an extra like 2 damage. Whatever, just hit him because we don't like him. Let's defend, cloak and dagger. And we definitely can hit him. We can hit him again and only take... We'll take no damage this turn. So just kind of doing the math. For 3 damage, I think that was worth it. It's also those shivs are putting us back around on Nunchuck. And this is good to remember too with our weakness energies. Let's play defend first. Neutralize. So that's a huge damage decrease. And then here, I'm going to discard the strike. And we're actually going to play this. And now we just take 1 damage. And I think that was worth it for 14 damage. Our life total doesn't matter as much, because when we roll over to the next floor, we will heal. We're so close. And we got him. Poison for the win. When you play on Ascension mode, I do believe it either lessens or completely removes the amount of heals you do get floor to floor. Once again, no discard synergy. No discard synergy. Die, die, die is great. Upgraded, I believe it does 17 damage to all enemies. Okay, let's see what we get. If we had curses in our deck, I could see this being great, but we don't currently have any. Ori could be fine if we were able to get the right cards. Not being able to upgrade cards. This could be worth it. The cards we do want to upgrade right now are basically after image being the priority. And not having an easy way to upgrade that is rough. But the extra energy probably just straight up offsets that. This is probably just better than having 1 card potentially upgraded. Yeah, I'm going to take that. And this is a newer relic for me. This is the first time I've ever taken this one. I don't see that drawback as being particularly brutal. There are other ways to upgrade. You can upgrade through relics or special events. So let's go ahead and look at our floor. Kind of check out who we're fighting. Don't remember who this is, but I'll remember as soon as I see the model. Let's see, counting elites. I see a path here to get 3. Might start here to hit this shop. Here, doesn't really matter, it's identical. Come back around and then hug this wall and go up that way. I think that's going to be our path. We definitely want this. And let's choose the path that gives us a chance at a question mark, a positive question mark. Thieves, okay, so this is the first time in our run where we've seen thieves. They will, you know, as their name implies, they take your gold, and if you don't kill them before they run away, they take it permanently. So you really want to quickly take them out. So we're going to pick one to focus, and we're going to focus them. Let's see how close we can get to them. See, we got more energy. If I'd have thought about how much energy we were going to have, I'm actually, between Lantern, Fusion Hammer, and this triggering, this is basically a free play as well. So we missed out on a few points of block there, but I'm not sure it'll matter because I'm pretty sure we'll come close to killing this guy. He's dead next turn, we can ignore him. Now we just want to burn this guy down. So let's do that, and weakening him is great. So you'll know when they're starting to run, because instead of attacking, they'll do a block. So there we go. He wants to run already. Die. Another card kind of would have been great in our opening hand. So we have one more turn to take him out, which we should be able to do depending on our draws. Yeah, and I believe we got him. So we got our gold back, which is great because we're going to a shop. And this backflip is already upgraded, so I think we're going to take this. This is a really solid early run card that we didn't really see, but it's still early enough that I think it's fine. Basically just a strictly better defend with huge upside and that you get to draw 2 cards. These guys are basically like a mini-boss. If we defeat them, we get the relic, the red mask, which I think applies vulnerability to your enemies at the start of combat. And the only way to get around them is to give them all your gold, which we're definitely not going to do. So we're going to fight these guys. We are strong. Let's do a little math here. So we want to go after image, crippling, die. So that's only 4. We still have, we're obviously going to backstab someone, whoever is closest to death. And then we still have enough to do blade dance. And I think that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. Die. We even get another energy, which is amazing. We can kill him, so I'm not worried about doing the block. Go ahead and put him low. Let's blade dance, use our weakest attack to finish him off. And I don't remember, there's some sort of enrage effect that takes place once you kill some of the brothers, and I think it affects Bear. I'm not positive on that. but they do have weakness applied and the poison, and neither of them is attacking me. Okay, so he's actually buffing Bear, I believe. Or not. Okay, he didn't actually buff him. I'm not sure what that ability did, though. Supply Terror to Bear. He does have the most HP remaining. That was great. And we're going to get our block. Play the discard card last so we don't actually have to discard our defend. Playing them in reverse order would have been a definite misplay. I don't believe we would have taken any damage regardless, but that's the kind of small things you have to keep in mind when you're playing this character. It's okay, it applies weak. 1 weak to all enemies, which is great. Plays even more into our weak synergy. That's wonderful. Okay. If these weren't upgraded, I almost would not be even considering them, because they're really starting to dilute our deck with non-synergistic cards. But they are strong non-synergistic cards. They're really just strong on their own. Let's check our deck, see how many skills we have. These are all skills. Skill. Skill, skill. So we are a pretty skill-heavy deck. There are almost certainly turns where we could play this, the first card in a turn, and deal, 18, 24 damage for 1. I actually like Quick Slash. It's just a very efficient card, so I think that's what I'm going to take. It's already upgraded. Said if it wasn't upgraded, I would probably not have taken it there. Make our way to the shop. And for those of you just watching me play this is a new enemy for you, the Spirit Guardian. He starts off with 2 negate to block status effects, and every turn his block stacks. So he has a low HP pool but a high block. But he's very slow attack wise, so we can kind of set up on him. See, and we're actually in this weird point where we actually have more energy than we know what to do with. So Quick Slash was definitely a decent pickup, because in turns like that, having a card like Quick Slash in our opening hand or even Backflip allow us to see more cards to use that excess energy. Get rid of one of those negates. That's actually crippling poison. He's going to block the poison but keep the weak. And let's outmaneuver Backflip. Yeah. Take no damage. Keep him weak. Now we're going to start looking to actually do damage. Start chipping away at his block total. And we're getting lots of attacks for our nunchuck. Kind of goes to show you the efficiency of the Shiv synergy. Just pop that. And that's good. Another Blade Dance. Could be pretty sweet. Let's take it. Hope we get something good at the shop. Okay, right away I'm seeing lots of good stuff. This is another new card for me. This looks very strong. Wow. If there were not good relics and cards here, I would 100% grab this, because this looks like a very fun play around card. We don't need the Peace Pipe. This is amazing. We are almost certainly going to grab Ice Cream. We're having turns where we do have sometimes 2 or 3 energy that we're not using, and we want to roll that onto the next turn. This is not really interesting. This would be great in our deck. We want this, but we do not, unfortunately, have enough gold to get both. And if I have to choose, this is probably the most synergistic relic we could have asked for. So I'm going to grab it. That will almost guaranteed come in handy at some point this run. So let's see, which way do we want to go? If we go this way, we have a slightly better shot at taking one less fight. So we're going to go right and up, and then cross back over and hug the wall to take those other elite fights. Okay. Kind of a weak opening hand. We used weakness on him just to kind of stack it up because he's going to be around longer. Outmaneuver becomes an even more valuable card when we know that next turn that energy is going to roll over. Let's backflip, see what we draw. So here we don't have to play these. We know we're safe. We just conserve that extra 1 energy. So next turn we're going to have a grand total of 3 extra energy to work with, which is huge. And that's even if we don't roll over nunchucks. So let's add vulnerable. Should have played after image first. Small misplay. We're going to miss out on 1 block, which actually makes the difference between us taking 1 damage, which is kind of funny. But that's what that's what I've been saying. It's all about card order. Now we're getting into the ridiculously good energy conservation. And we're going to get to that point where we just have more energy than we can even spend when we're rolling over a full 4. And card draw is going to play into that. So that quick slash grab was definitely a good pickup, as well as a backflip. I was a little concerned about diluting our deck when I did pick those up, but now I'm just happy I did. So he's going to do 8, we're covered, save the energy. You do have a poison potion. It's very easy to forget in this game that you have potions available to you when you get used to playing without having them. But key use of potions in an elite or boss fight can really win you a fight you might have otherwise lost. Slice is actually solid in our deck. It's a free add to nunchucks. It's a free hit on an early turn when our enemies are maybe vulnerable with a terror. So I mean, it's just free. The only negative to a slice is that it can dilute our opening hands and reduce the possibilities that we'll get that really strong opening synergy. So I'm actually not going to take it. I'm going to skip. And because we're at high health, I opted to go right instead of left. We didn't really need the rest at this point. Okay. So let's dagger spray. I'm gonna backflip. Let's get some shivs. This particular elite, the Gremlin Leader, will continuously summon these guys. So there'll be times to focus them and then times to ignore them. Here I think we just get in that 4 damage instead of trying to roll over that 1 energy. Okay, Terror is great. This is a turn he's resummoning his minions. Fly weak, even more weak. Would have been great to get that cloud on a turn where the minions were out. But they have such low HP. Anything like a die, speak of the devil, will do great work. Let's go ahead and get those guys off the board. Let's draw, see what we get. We did get another energy. So, great. We don't need to defend. Let's roll over that energy. Constantly trying to remember our synergies. After image. We don't need the defends. He's going to just be resummoning. And he's dead. And when we kill him, the minions just disappear. We don't have to worry about finishing them all off. Unless that's something they've changed. Nope. Minions run without the leader. And Doodle. We have no curses. That's a dead relic for us. Another backflip is very solid. Skewer could be extremely... These are all very good cards for us. Now that we have excess energy, backflip keeps us defensive while also feeding into us having cards to play with that excess energy. Skewer, we could potentially save up lots of energy, and in one turn, let's see what the upgrade is. It's 10 damage, okay. So there could potentially be a turn where we have, let's say at the start of our turn, we have 8 energy, which is, I think, is going to be pretty common for us. And we just want to unload with an 80 damage attack. And then this is a rare card, as denoted by the yellow banner. And this is also very good with excess energy, especially against a boss or an elite. You just stick them with this one time for 5 or 6, and you basically don't have to worry about them doing damage to you for the rest of the fight. I'm going to take backflip, all that being said. We can't smith because of this relic. Let's see what we get. What is our weakest card? It's probably going to be a defend here. Awesome. Noxious Fumes. More poison synergy. Another card that really benefits from being upgraded. More card draw. Excellent. Card draw and energy go hand in hand. So, I'm really happy to see that. And our red mask is actually taking away some of their artifact buffs right at the start of the fight, so that's wonderful. Just start by doing some damage. Should be able to take this guy out, no problem. We are even getting that extra energy from Nunchuck, and then we're going to play Outmaneuver and Pass. Next turn will be +3 energy. Let's see what we can do with that. Get rid of one of his negate buffs. So we're just getting weakness on him. We don't need to play the defend. We're going to play this just for the 7 damage. Had I played that in a slightly different turn order, we could have potentially got poison damage on him. And that would have done 14 damage, and the poison would be ignoring his block. So let's after image first. Terror. Neutralize. And let's backflip. And we don't want to take any damage from this guy. So, to conserve energy, we'll play it that way. Roll over 1. Okay, I mean, we've got him pretty much near death. Noxious Fumes is something you definitely want to have in your opening hand. Just a little too late to the party. Great Potion. Take another Blade Dance. And let's go fight an elite. They're all weak, that's great. That took a lot of pressure off of us. And we're gonna increase that weakness so that we're not taking a ton of damage from these guys for the foreseeable future. And having Paper Crane once again is huge. So let's try to... Since he'll be alive the longest, I want to stack the most weakness on him. Let's burst down one of these guys if we can. See what we draw. And that's probably a perfect draw for us. Let's do a little math. We can actually opt not to take any damage, I believe, or take much less damage by playing that this turn. Yeah, we don't have any rest between this elite fight and the next, so let's keep our HP pool high, just in case we run into some kind of unexpected trouble in the next elite fight. So we really would like to see die, die, die here. But barring that, we'll play these cards out, keep adding to our nunchucks, keep adding to our after image, giving us more and more block. At this point they probably can't touch us. Once they're down one guy and they're kind of perma weak like this, they're not very scary. Start working down the little guy. And doing a little quick math, we are good to go. Especially with the plated armor. Let's conserve that energy. And hopefully this is a big turn for us. Let's hopefully draw die, die, die. And there we go. Alright, free strength. Strength is great with all of our attack damage. And we are doing a lot of attack damage. Blur is very nice. If you're going heavy block synergy, it actually wouldn't be a bad card in our deck. Upgrades, it's a very small upgrade. Caltrops wouldn't be bad, but I think I'm actually going to take another quick slash. We are still at that point where we, some turns, have even more energy than we know what to do with. Which is definitely not a bad thing. So let's see how much damage we can do. This guy has Malleable as his special ability. Let you read what that does. So we're doing damage, we're kind of getting through. But let's not take any damage from him. And let's get our nunchucks up. We're not going to play this last one because actually that energy rolls over to the next turn. Thank you, Ice Cream. So we could hit him, but it's only going to be for one. I'm going to opt not to hit him. We might have a slightly better line this turn. Okay, so we definitely want to poison, giving us a very effective Bane, giving us one more energy. We don't want to take any damage from this guy, so let's go ahead and pop that. And we can actually go very passive on him and just use our Noxious Flame to apply poison. Just play a defend. We take no damage. He took a good bit of damage, and he'll have more poison next turn. At this point, if we wanted to, we could just hide behind blocks until he slowly dies, which is kind of the power of Noxious Fumes. Just play After Image. Hit him for 13. You'll notice all of our attacks do more damage with strength increase. This actually translates to just a bit more damage than using a standard strike. We'll just take him out. Not bad. Good defensive potion. This could be great for us. If we find ourselves with an opening hand that we don't like, or just a hand in general that we don't like, this could be great. And it's free, it's already upgraded. So I'm actually going to take this. And we've seen these before. I think we're just about at enough of these. Having one mulligan, basically. And sometimes you'll get it in your opening hand, you play all the cards that you want to play, and then you can kind of mulligan and then draw some fresh cards and maybe get a different hand that maybe does something else that you want to do. So let's see here. Start off by poisoning him. I think we're certainly going to play Black Flip just to not take unnecessary damage. And if we knew we were going to do that, we should have played it first to get the card draw, to see what the rest of our options were. So we're backstabbing, and that's why we held off playing that, because we do have synergies in here with Terror. That's Noxious Fumes. I love the inevitability of a power like that. And here we can either do 13 damage, but I'm going to actually opt to do this 14 damage and apply 2 more stacks to our nunchucks. That's my thought process there. Alright, we get a chance to After Image. Cloak and Dagger. Start getting a lot of block, rolling over a lot of energy. And we're at that good point where we're balanced. We're kind of spending all this extra energy we're getting, and we're being productive with it. And if we're not, I mean, our next turn, we almost certainly can with our card draw use as much energy as we want. Die I was pretty much always going to play. He's already vulnerable. There was probably not any benefit to drawing first. Let's outmaneuver. Let's see what we draw here. So that was worth. He's not hurting us. He probably won't hurt us this fight. And for those of you watching at home, it's definitely easy to maybe start getting a little cocky at this point. But I have definitely lost runs where I was doing this well, and I came across one boss that I just didn't have the ability to deal with, a certain skill set, and then I lost it all at that point. So applying one vulnerable is amazing. Having these 2 static debuffs on our opponents right at the start. I'm going to take Caltrops. I don't hate having kind of like one of each power. Caltrop is also good against this enemy in particular. Not that I planned that or anything. They tend to do very low damage multiple times. So let's actually Let's backflip, see what we draw, protect ourselves here. And we can actually set up with our powers. You know we want to die. We're going to get that extra energy off of nunchucks. Just play our powers out. This guy is basically a non-factor now. We could just go ahead and kill him. But we have enough AoE in our deck that I think we'll be able to just kind of passively take him out next turn. And we do have Noxious Fume, so he'll be poisoned. His like strength increases is not going to do anything. And he hit us and took 10 damage. So that right there was kind of the power of Caltrops. Strike, strike. Let's play one defend and then gamble away the other one. I believe he'll kill himself on the first shot. So let's hit the Chosen. He's going to hit me and take that Caltrops damage. Die before he can do his second attack. She's going to hex me. Okay. So we just want to use attacks. She's dead. No big deal, easy fight, easy life. This could be good. We're starting to have a few different discard synergies. Bane is okay. I'm not looking at well-laid plans. I'll take another Bane as just an upgraded strike. This is actually the first turn we've really been punished by grabbing this relic, because it would have been very nice to upgrade one of our cards there. Ah, this guy. Okay, he's a minion summoner. AoE is definitely good against him. I'm not going to use die yet because he doesn't have his minions out and I don't want to exhaust this. So I really dislike this opening hand. It kind of does a lot of damage. Let's see what we have here. Let's go ahead and poison him. I could definitely see us getting some Banes if I do decide to gamble. But we are going to backstab him, get that extra energy. It's actually card draw before we start doing all that. Weaken and poison. And that's fine. That was a pretty powerful opening salvo on him, getting those big weakness stacks. Here we go. So minions. Let's backflip, see what we draw. After image is fine. Add more shivs. Take these guys out if we can. And just generally stack up as much after image block as possible. We're going to backflip again. Let's Caltrops. This might have been a good turn to use our dexterity, because these are pretty big hits and we can't kill any of these guys this turn. Actually, we can kill one of them. Or we can instead go very defensive and just block pretty much all of this damage. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And hope to draw into some of our AoE next turn. Okay. Let's tear the main guy. Let's noxious fumes. We definitely want to cloak and dagger just for the double. Double proc of our after image, that is. Get our good extra energy. This, once again, is basically 3 free block for us. Let's bang the collector. Let's stack more damage, more poison on him. I think that's fine. We block everything this turn. This guy will, Torch Head, will probably be pretty easy to get rid of. He takes 5 from Caltrops. And here we start getting into his nasty hexes. 3 turns of weakness, vulnerability. That's pretty rough. And he's actually hitting quite hard now. But he is dead. That was a slight misplay. I should have played outmaneuver instead of that last defend. I was trying to commentate and play at the same time. I think a bit of a mistake. So we should have had more energy next turn, but... Okay, now he wants to hit us hard. And I'm glad we had that. Let's backflip, see what we draw. We could have also used this. Let's pop this dexterity potion. We're going to block, probably block, slash. So let's slash before we do another block, see what we draw. Die is great. But this is essentially 10 damage mitigated versus 30 damage done. It's a hard call. So I think we're going to apply weak to this guy here. That's -4. And we're going to die with the hopes. Actually, didn't notice the nunchucks. Awesome. So we get that defend anyway. Let's just play that. Noxious fumes taking effect. They lose 1 every turn, but they gain 2 every turn, so a net 1 poison, which is going to do well for the boss, but it probably won't have much of an effect on these guys. He no longer has the weakness debuff. Might have been better to use that potion on him, but I was kind of hoping to draw another effect that gave weakness, but I guess we just don't have that many in the deck. Let's quick slash, see what we draw. Let's get our 3 block off of this. We can take this hit and almost certainly kill him next turn. I mean, he's dead next turn no matter what we do, so we basically are just taking this big hit. Actually, he kills himself on Caltrops, so... And then we heal up for the next floor. Just a bit more stressful. I'm not that interested in any of these. Actually, Tools of the Trade could be great as a power. Let me see what the upgraded version of this is. It's free. Okay. We don't really have the means to upgrade this. I would love to get this if it was upgraded, but it's not. And this makes this free as well. And this is another thing I'm not super interested in. I'm going to skip these. It's not very often that you skip your rare card selection, but when they just don't do anything. This is dangerous, but we may have a deck that works okay with this. We're throwing up a lot of passive block anyway, so with even more energy, we'll almost certainly be able to play out every block card we have. So whatever our enemies plan to attack, even if we can't see what they're going to do, we'll still be using that energy to block. So this could be worth considering. This also probably won't hinder us very much. Our deck isn't full by any means. We definitely have room for upgrades, but it's not where we're hurting. And this is always just fine. This is something I would much rather see in the first floor to really get the most out of. And if I had a guaranteed 3 elite path on the next floor, I would 100% take this. But with Ice Cream as one of our relics, and the Lantern and the Nunchucks, even more energy can let us do even bigger combos, more card draw, more damage. So I think I'm just going to take a Runic Dome. And now we won't be able to see what our enemies are doing, which is dangerous, but it's also kind of balanced by the fact that I know what most of these enemies do, or at least are capable of. And we will have the energy to always play the blocks that we need to play. So let's count elites. And hope for a 3 path. 1, 2. I don't see a 3 path. But I do see a path that potentially lets us... It only gets us 1 store. I really want to visit multiple stores, multiple shops if I can. Is there any path that lets me take 2 elites and visit 2 stores? I don't believe there is. I think I'm going to take 1. Yeah, I think I'm going to start here and hit this shop. Can't see what the enemies are going to do. Generally want to kill the exploder first. I don't foresee not being able to see their intents as being all that damaging to us. Like I said, this guy's already dead if I want to kill him. We will. And he's dead. And he's dead. And we rolled over Nunchucks just in time to use our outmaneuver for next turn. And as I was saying, I think that turn plays out exactly the same whether or not we know what they're doing or not. So let's get our defense up first. He's already weak, so we don't need to neutralize. It's not enough bang for our buck, so to speak. Die, I think it's worth it to take that 3. And then here, we're gonna pass. Let the poison do some of that work. We didn't have enough block that turn. We really want our after image in our opening hand. Backflip, see what we draw. Cloak and Dagger. Draw more cards. I think it's safe just to hit him at this point. Yeah. There we go. Flawless fight. More backflip could be good, and upgraded Sucker Punch would be fine. more weakness synergy with our paper crane. And I think we're good on Banes, especially because they're not upgraded. I really wish this was an upgraded backflip. It would make it, to me, the 100% correct choice. I do love Sucker Punch as a defensive, offensive card. And I think I'm going to take it as a one of, just because of this paper crane synergy. And I would rather be doing more attacks with our excess energy than blocks. We can take more advantage. Our opponents are more susceptible to damage, and we do more damage on this first shot, on our first turn. So we definitely want to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, we have no way of actually poisoning or drawing cards this turn. So this will just be an 8 damage spell. A card, rather. And we'll play Outmaneuver, net 1 energy. We can't see his intent, so this is maybe the first time where the not being able to see the intent comes into play. If we assume he's attacking us, then we definitely want to play Defend, and I'm going to play it. I think the potential 5 life loss is greater than the 1 energy we may have conserved over into the next round. And that was correct. That was correct to do so. And we got to see our Centennial Puzzle proc. So now we have a huge hand. A lot of options. And we have a ton of energy. We can almost certainly do everything we want to do. But let's still play this. Play it smart. Let's draw another card, see what we get. Play out our powers. Empty our hand a little bit so we don't go to maximum hand size. And that's it. Just getting a lot of extra stacks on our nunchucks for our potential next fight. More damage, more energy. This is great. And for those of you who didn't get to read that, choose one of 3 random power cards to add to your hand. It costs 0 this turn. So it's basically a free power. Could be really strong. We might pop this at the beginning of our boss fight with Dodeca. These guys here. Let's go to the shop. Let's get big money, big money. Metamorphosis, yes, that was the card I was referring to. Let's see what these are. This is a very strong defensive card. This will never happen. This would let us duplicate a card in our deck. Let's see what we have that is worth that. Having 2 terrors would be good against the next boss. The next boss are 2 very big bodies, and putting terror on both of them could be really strong. That's something to consider. We could get another die to have better AoE coverage, or an extra after image. If this was upgraded, I probably would do that and go double after image on the first turn, or another backstab just to have a slightly stronger opening turn. This is our only shop, so we do want to spend our gold here. I think I'm going to grab this and multiply after image. And I'm going to add, this could be really strong, but unfortunately we can't see intents. If we knew when our enemy was going to hit us with their hardest attack, this intangible basically makes you borderline invulnerable for 1 turn. I believe you still take 1 damage. I would have liked to have had enough to get this. That is not the case. These are all good potions, but I generally stay away from buying potions. I'm going to grab Noxious Fumes as another power. And let's grab Poison Stab. And I think that's fine. That wasn't the best, but it was fine. Doubling our after image when we can't see enemy intents, I think is going to be very strong. And it'll increase the odds that we draw at least one of them in our opening hand, which we would like to do. But we are not currently doing. And getting another Poison Stab ensures most of the time that we'll have poison on our enemy when it's time to use Bane. So... hitting them hard. On the first turn, really taking advantage. And I'm actually going to play out these defends. I'm not that familiar with this enemy. I don't know what his usual opening move is. And it was to attack us, so we blocked it. Awesome. Let's weaken him, add more poison. See what we draw. Cloak and Dagger. It's fine. Some guaranteed block. Outmaneuver is probably stronger there. But we'll see. We'll probably kill him before the Noxious Fumes really gets to take effect. Really playing into our nunchucks. There we go, we got it. Just for fun, see what we would have drawn. Another Backstab. This is a card we haven't seen yet, but would have been great early on. Now, to my mind, it's a little too late. I'd love to have another Backstab in my opening hands. Not useful against bosses very much. It doesn't have kind of the same lasting damage that something like Deadly Poison or Poison Stab does. This being upgraded makes it a very close call, but I think I'm going to grab Backstab. I want to make sure I can burst down some of these fights quickly. This is another mini-boss type fight, and we're going to take it in hopes that we get a good relic. These guys aren't very tough as well. And with double Backstab in our opening hand, pretty confident we'll be able to do something good here. So, not getting any defensive cards early on. Those guys don't come back, they're not minions, so we're going to focus them down. We're actually going to get another energy here. And I think we just do 14 to him, kill him next turn. Hope he doesn't do more than 8 damage, and he doesn't. And we're basically good with whatever we do. Let's just end it. Cross our fingers for a good relic, and Unceasing Top, another great relic for us. I can foresee a turn where we conserve a ton of energy, we play all of our cards, and then we're just sitting there dead, rolling over consecutively more and more energy that we can't get rid of. And this really prevents that. Oh man, an upgraded Blade Dance. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. Another die might be fine, but those shivs are what's kind of providing our deck with a good engine. Okay, let's see what we draw here. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Let's actually Backstab first. And off that one card, we're getting 3 procs on nunchucks and 4 procs on our after image. So if you still weren't convinced, that's the synergy I was going for. Let's just kill him. And I don't think he'll do more than 10 damage, but I don't think there's any reason to. Oh, we discarded our card. We actually got to use Unceasing Top, but we did. It wasn't a waste because Ice Cream will conserve that energy for us. And if we do the same thing on this turn, we'll still draw that card on Unceasing Top. Would love more Cloak and Daggers, especially upgraded ones. And now you kind of get to see the power of it. If we wanted to conserve this energy, we certainly could. And I think now we will. Because whatever we draw, we won't have the energy to play, and I doubt they're going to do more than 15 damage to us. Let's play this. It's a bit overkill, but that's a lot of times what these runs turn into, is overkill. As you go deeper into the Ascension modes, you see the value of overkill. The enemies become much harder, and you'll find that overkill happens a lot less often. We're going to take Dash. It's upgraded. Does damage and blocks. Not being able to see Intense can be scary. Heal up our 4 HP. And we basically have a choice to try and get a little bit of gold, go to a shop, maybe get something, or take this elite fight and get a guaranteed relic. Giant Head, we want to burst him down as fast as possible, which we can certainly do. Let's quick slash first, see what we draw. Nothing relevant. Let's do our damage. Play our powers. And he has the slow effect. Outmaneuver is great there. So we definitely want to play non-attack cards first, so that that percentage stacks, so that by the time we start hitting him with our heavy hitting cards, like those innate backstabs, ideally we would have saved those for last. Slight misplay, we probably missed out on something around 10 damage. Rough ballpark. And he did 1 damage to us, which actually is kind of helpful, because we drew a lot of cards this turn. Let's weaken him. Getting 3 weakness on him is great. And those were our weakest attacks. Bane probably being our strongest. Let's use our shivs. Strike, dagger spray, Bane. And we still have no after image up, so we have no block. So let's Survivor. Hope he doesn't hit us hard this turn. Perfect. No damage. I like After Image. Noxious Fumes, Blade Dance. I think after we play all this, plus Dash, we're going to be fine on block. See what we draw. It might have been a bit of a waste. Could have rolled over that energy, but I was trying to think of what we could have in our deck that might have been beneficial there. I don't think there was anything. Let's finally play our second After Image. Give him Perma Terror, Vulnerability. Let's play a Defend. Blade Dance, and there we go. And strike. See what we draw. Can't cast it. This has been a pretty fun run. Getting to see a lot of the new relics and some of the new cards. Let's backflip. Get that weak, keep that weak applied to him. I don't care much about that extra energy next turn. Probably there I would have rather had the defend. Actually we had 33, wow. We managed to get up to pretty high block total here, but he's going to start hitting us harder as the turns go by. Let's quick slash. I'm pretty positive that I'm going to play dash. Bane. Once again, kind of a little bit forgetting the slow benefit. But he's so near death, I don't foresee this going past the next turn. Yeah, so I'm not going to waste my brain power trying to figure that out. Letter opener's great. We had it in the last, the run from yesterday with the Ironclad, and it's even more useful on the Silent, because a lot of the cards you do play are skills. Blur is really good when you can't see intents. It makes it so that there's very rarely a turn where you waste having, you know, a huge amount of block. I would love to get more poison. I would love to get another dash. If this was upgraded, I would probably take this again. I could see this being very good in our upcoming boss fight. This also has the benefit of just being a higher energy cost card that will sometimes let us get that big benefit when we do have that excess energy. I'm going to grab one blur, mostly to kind of showcase it to you guys. If it was just me playing, I might have taken the second dash. Oh, this is awesome. Thread and needle. So, that potion I showed you guys, this is basically that potion at the start of every fight. We get plated armor. That is a wonderful pickup. That's one you really want to see early on in a run as well. It can kind of really change how you look at your run, knowing that you'll have block every turn. So here we're going to lose one card, and I'm gonna call it. We're gonna lose Flying Knee. Rest, missing out once again thanks to this. This is what kind of tipped us into the energy build, but it has forced us to miss out on a lot of upgrades. And we're going to take these two mystery routes. And we get some potions. Awesome. We actually, for once, are going to use our potion belt. And one of them is definitely going to be that, because once we use all these other potions, we pop this and we get a full hand filled with more potions. And I'm actually going to discard the dexterity for one turn in favor of... This basically is a free 20 damage on the upcoming boss, which isn't amazing, but... Or we could just use it here, which we might, because I definitely foresee us getting a potion after this. And it works around the Thorns aura. And this opening hand is pretty terrible, so I will pop that on these guys. Let's see where this goes. I really want to get some block so I can apply poison to the Thorns gentleman here. But I don't think that's going to happen. So let's burst these guys down. And we're actually going to do this in a weird order. We're going to get that, because I know we have Unceasing Top, I know we're going to continue to draw. There we go, free 5 damage. Let's see if we can't do something awesome here. And that's the end of that, but that was still pretty sweet. That was a pretty good turn one. Not 100% sure playing the potion was necessary, but with this potion filling up our full 5 potion slots, that's going to be huge for the final fight. Flawless victory. We did not get that extra potion. Another upgraded calculated gamble could be fine. I think I'm just going to take one final quick slash. And unnecessary rest. And here we go. We're going to want to use all of our potions. Don't want to leave anything to chance. Awesome. And we actually get 3 powers in our opening hand. And our artifacts totally took out their negates. This is great. Okay. So let's make sure we do this all in the right order. After image. And we can actually quick slash here. I'm not sure, I don't remember if one of these guys is a priority over the other. I'm inclined to believe that's not the case. And before we play too much more, let's see which power we get. 1,000 cuts is great. Accuracy will probably do a ton of work for us. 3 additional damage on every one of our shivs for the rest of the fight. Or more noxious fumes. Which is just kind of free damage. I think 1,000 cuts. It's between these two. It's a simple math. Which one do we think will do more damage? And since they're both alive, I think the answer to that is 1,000 cuts. If one of them was already down, I would say accuracy is 100%, but I think it's pretty even. And this will allow us to do damage even when we play defensive cards. So I'm going to take that, it's free. And we're actually going to get an extra energy here. We're going to draw a card. We don't have to play it if we value the energy. Since we don't know what they're going to do, I'm going to take this as well. Ooh, these are both good. I'm not sure exactly how many attacks we played this turn, but it was a lot. This is definitely a lot of damage, but this is going to allow us to draw 2 cards, which might translate into even more damage. I'm going to take Finisher, mostly because I'm curious how many attacks we played. 6, okay. So that was pretty big. Would have loved to have had that with some energy. Let's drink this now, see what we get. Let's gain 1 artifact. Put some poison on him. And I'm just going to weaken him. He'll probably be around for another 2 turns or so. And I had a feeling he was going to be the one to attack me. He takes 10 off of the thorns, which is great. But they are getting an increase to their strength, so we want to be mindful of that. We don't want to take too long. I'm going to drink this. Probably I should have drank it before I used that first attack. See what we get here. Blur would have been nice. But we've almost got Deca down. Taking a big hit here from Donu. Okay. We once again almost have nunchucks up. Let's just rush down Deca if we can. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And here we can pop the regen potion. I think this fight's pretty much over. Very powerful run. It's also easy to forget that we just got thread and needle, and that plated armor was doing some work for us. Now it's just a matter of burning him down. Probably just want to play everything, because we can't see his intents. Even playing our skills is going to have benefits. And letter opener, that 5 damage. Yeah, this feels pretty over. See you later, Donu. So, just under 2 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed having a more in-depth look. I'd like to think I talked a little more this walkthrough about my decision-making process and why I did what I did. Let's see what our score is. Not bad. Let's go ahead and die. Victory? Yeah, it was a victory. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'll be coming back tomorrow with another playthrough. This time it will be on the defect. And I'm really looking forward to playing him. I don't have as much experience on the defect as I do on the other two, so that should be kind of a fun learning experience for all of us. Well anyway, that's it for today, and if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button. That'll help me out. I'm a growing channel. I've just started making content. So, and if you have any suggestions or if you saw any misplays that I didn't see or any potential awesome synergies that I missed, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I will certainly be reading the comments. So anyway, thank you guys. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one.